Topic today is discharge of contracts. Now we are reaching the end of contract law. So this topic is about how do we end a contract? How do we learned about how to make agreements, how to what are the key elements in an agreement, and how an agreement will become a contract. And today the purpose is learning how we can end a contract. These are the ways to end a contract. Some are good, some are bad. Performance, substantial performance, new agreement, frustration, breach of contract. So some of the contracts endings are all right, but some will result in even legal actions. We'll see. So let's get the first one. Performance of the contract. That means, full completion of everything that you agreed. If I give an example, let's say I go to a shop and ask for a 40-page exercise book square rule, and I may tell a brand name also, perhaps Atlas or something like that. And the shop does everything I ask for, and I pay the money, and shop takes it, and that's it. Full completion. So it's possible to do very simple contracts in full completion. Once I done my part, once the shop has done its part, our deal is over. So in simple contracts, very simple contracts, 100% performance. We call it full performance, right? Is expected. Then of course we have a challenge of you know very complex contracts. Take something like a construction contract, service contracts. Can you really do these contracts, right? These are long-term contracts, may take quite a time to finish, not just in a minute you can finish it. It'll take a long time, maybe couple of hours, couple of days, right? Or many minutes to finish such a contract. And many things to do in such a contract. Take, for example, you go to a barber salon to get a haircut. Can the, you know, saloon do a perfect work? There's nothing called that, right? You go to a shop for dinner, restaurant for dinner. Can the restaurant give you 100% satisfaction? There's no such thing. Can building ever be done in the exact specification of, the blueprint? Not possible. So there, I mean, we still pay them, right? We still kind of happy because, they do most of the expected work. When most of the work is done, we call it substantial performance. The contract could be done through substantial performance as well. So, if even if there are some issues missing, I'll still pay with a bit of a reduction for, the work that was not done. So, contract can be finished by performance. It can be finished by substantial performance as well. New agreement. What's a new agreement? Now, when we have a current contract, when you have a current contract at the moment, current means that any change to that contract requires a new agreement, right? We learned it under consideration. පවතින ගිවිසුමක් වෙනස් කරන්න අලුතෙන් ගිවිසුමක් හදන්න ඕනේ. So the අලුත් ගිවිසුම මොකද්ද? New agreement. Take a look at the example, please. 1,000 bricks, but later both parties agree to supply, you know, 7,500 per month. They make a new agreement. Maybe other party will be paying early or different payment methods. Something they'll discuss. So the new agreement cancels the old agreement. That way also a contract can be discharged. That means a new agreement may cancel out or discharge the early agreement. Then comes the other one, frustration. Contracts are discharged, ended, not just because of the parties. Sometimes the parties are fully committed, fully, into finishing the contract, but due to reasons beyond their control, the contract might become impossible to perform. Outside reasons. We call them frustration of the contract. So frustration also could discharge a contract. How does the frustration happens? Take a look at the examples. A and B make a contract, and when the contract is on, the other party dies. They say A and B makes a contract. Imagine A is a singer, B is a recording studio. When the singer died, contract is ended. Imagine A makes a contract with B uh, to appoint him as a driver, and the driver is faced with a serious accident where he may not be able to drive for a long time. Now, what happens? Contract is frustrated. Take a look at the second example. Some of the contracts are expectant on an event. If that event doesn't take place, like the example here, contract frustrates. Another way to frustrate a contract, change of law. Country's law can change anytime. Laws are never static. They keep on changing the laws, right? Recently, what were the laws Sri Lanka changed? We banned imports. Most of the imports are banned now. We banned the import of cars. You know, uh, it's the commonplace for any country to see the changes in the law of the country. When the law of the country changes, contracts that were made under the previous law will need to be stopped. For example, take the example, the government decision to ban the car imports came all of a sudden. And by that time, some companies may have already placed orders also. But then all that gets frustrated because Sri Lanka banned the import of motor cars. Change of law is that. So these are the ways where a contract may come into an end. Performance, substantial performance, new agreement, frustration, change of law, breach of contract. Yeah, the last one. Whenever there's a condition broken, as a result, innocent party has the right to stop the contract. Right? So that way also, the contract gets stopped by the innocent party. That's called as the breach of contract. Now, there are a lot of questions that MCQs that I have set up in the Google Classroom. Some of the questions will be into that area of discharge of contracts. Now, when the lessons are over, we'll spend some extra time on questions and answers. Then you will be able to get the hang of these areas.